The ship should not have heard anything out here. That was the first thought that froze Relon more in his pilot chair. The sector was marked empty on every human star map. No traffic. No signals. No life. Just cold space and broken light. Yet the sound came again, low and slow, not through speakers but through the ship itself, like a deep breath moving through metal. Relon's fingers hovered above the controls. He checked the panels. No alarms. No warnings. Only one strange reading pulsing on the edge of the scanner. It did not look like a normal signal. It had no clear source, no fixed direction. It felt more like a pressure than a sound. Then the words formed. Please, human, a water. Relon sucked in a sharp breath. He did not move. He had flown deep space for 9 years and never once heard a voice where none should exist. The translator stayed dark, yet he understood the meaning clearly, as if the thought had been placed gently inside his mind. He whispered, "That's not possible." The ship drifted forward on low thrust as the signal grew stronger. Stars bent slightly ahead, light curving in ways space was not meant to curve. Relon's heart began to pound. Fear told him to turn back. Training told him to mark the coordinates and leave. But something else pulled him forward, something heavy and old. The scanners finally locked onto a shape. At first it looked like a shadow swallowing stars. Then details appeared. A body so large it dwarfed small moons. Smooth, dark skin traced with pale lines that glowed weakly, like dying embers. The creature floated still, unmoving, surrounded by frozen debris and the broken shells of ancient stations. It was an alien whale. Not a ship. Not a machine. A living being drifting between stars. Relon's mouth went dry. Legends spoke of void whales, but those stories ended with myths and fear. None of them spoke of one still alive. As the ship moved closer, the whale's massive eye slowly opened. It was larger than Relon's entire cockpit window. The eye did not shine with threat. It looked tired. So very tired. The voice returned, weaker now. So thirsty. Relon felt pain press into his chest. The whale was not attacking his mind. It was barely holding itself together. Sensors showed internal collapse, energy fields failing, and something else. Empty chambers where vast oceans once flowed. Centuries, the voice whispered. No water, since the fall. Relon swallowed hard. He did not know what fall it meant, but the meaning felt heavy with loss. He pulled up old records. The region had once been marked as a living zone by a long-dead alien empire. Then, suddenly, it had been erased. No reason given. No rescue logs. They had left it all to die. Why me? Relon asked softly, though he knew the whale could hear his thoughts more than his words. You listen, the whale replied. Others saw only danger. You stayed. Relon looked at his water reserves. Enough for weeks of careful rationing. Enough to survive the return trip if he turned back now. Nowhere near enough for a creature this size. His hands trembled. I can't help you, he said even as guilt burned through him. I don't have enough. The whale did not argue. That hurt more than anger would have. I know, it said. Even one drop would remind me what living feels like. Silence filled the space between them. The stars felt far away. Relon's breathing sounded loud in his helmet. He remembered Earth oceans. Rain against windows. The sound of waves crashing while he was still a child. He had left those things behind to explore the dark, thinking nothing out here could touch him the same way. He was wrong. Slowly, Relon reached for the manual override on the water system. Warning lights flashed as soon as he disengaged safety limits. Pilot more, the ship system warned, unauthorized transfer will risk crew survival. I know, he whispered. He routed a thin stream of water into an external release capsule. It looked small. Pathetic. A shining thread against endless space. When the capsule drifted close, the whale moved for the first time. Not fast. Not sudden. Just enough to guide the water toward an opening along its body. The moment the water touched the whale, the glow along its skin brightened. Just a little. Like a candle refusing to go out. A sound filled space, deep and shaking, full of relief and pain mixed together. Relon felt tears blur his vision. Thank you, the whale said. It has been so long. Around them, ancient structures stirred. Frozen rings cracked. Energy readings spiked across the system. Something had changed. Relon leaned back, exhausted and shaking. He did not know what he had just started. He only knew he could not leave now. Beyond the viewport, the alien whale drifted closer to the human ship, careful and gentle, like something afraid to break what little hope remained. And far away, unseen sensors across the galaxy began to wake, responding to a signal that had been silent for centuries. The cry beneath the stars had finally been heard. The human did not sleep. He sat in the pilot chair, dry lips pressed together, eyes fixed on the great shape outside the window. The alien whale drifted close now, so close that the stars behind it were hidden. Its skin glowed faintly, brighter than before, but still weak. The small gift of water had not healed it. It had only reminded it what healing once felt like. The human's name was Alien Whale, though no one else was there to speak it. He had changed course hours ago, turned off long-range transmitters, and ignored every rule written for deep space pilots. The ship's systems showed his water levels dropping faster than safety allowed. Still, he did not regret listening. The whale's presence pressed softly against his mind. Not words at first. Feelings. Slow memories. Long silence. Endless waiting. "You stayed," the whale said at last. Its voice was steadier than before but still tired. "Others always leave." Aaron rubbed his eyes. "I didn't come here to save anyone," he said quietly. "I was just mapping dead space." "This place was never dead," the whale replied. "It was abandoned." Aaron turned to the data screens. Ancient stations floated in broken rings around them. Their shapes were graceful, not built for war. Energy scars marked where power had failed all at once. He scanned deeper, opening records no one had touched in centuries. "These weren't military," he said. "They were support structures." "Yes," the whale answered. "They carried water. Balance." Aaron felt a chill. "For you?" "For many," the whale said. "I was one of the last." The truth came slowly, like ice melting. The whale's kind were not weapons or monsters. They were keepers. Living vessels that carried oceans inside their bodies, spreading life to new systems. They guided water, shaped climates, and watched worlds grow. Then the great collapse came. Empires fell. Supply lines broke. Fear spread faster than care. "They shut everything down," the whale said, "and never returned." Aaron clenched his jaw. He had seen this pattern before, written across ruined planets. When things became hard, kindness was always the first thing cut away. The ship chimed again. Another warning about water levels. He muted it. "How long have you been here?" he asked. "Time lost meaning," the whale replied. "But your records would say, centuries." Aaron leaned back slowly. "And you stayed alive. Alone." "I remembered," the whale said. "And I waited." The word struck Aaron harder than any threat could have. Waiting was harder than fighting. Surviving without hope took more strength than any weapon. He opened the external cameras again. The whale's eye watched him, calm and gentle. It did not demand. It did not beg anymore. "You knew I was human before I spoke," Aaron said. "Yes," the whale replied. "Your kind listens differently. Loud machines. Quiet hearts." Aaron gave a tired smile. "We don't always listen. But when you do," the whale said, "you change things." The human stood and walked to the rear of the ship. He checked storage bays, emergency tanks, even the small reserves meant for plants. Every container mattered now. He calculated again and again, hoping numbers would change. They did not. He returned to the cockpit. "I can give you more," he said. "But not enough to fix this." "I do not need fixing," the whale answered. "Only time. And a chance." Aaron looked up. A chance for what? The space around them trembled faintly. Far beyond the whale, deep in the system, something responded. Old machines stirred. Distant lights blinked on and off like tired eyes opening. "The system still remembers me," the whale said. "But it needs a bridge." Aaron frowned. "A bridge?" "A listener," the whale said. "Someone small enough to enter places I cannot. Someone willing to stay." Aaron understood then. Not fully. But enough. "You're asking for help," he said. "Yes." "From a single human." "Yes." Aaron laughed softly, not because it was funny but because it was unreal. "You know I might die." "I know," the whale said. "That is why I asked." Silence stretched between them again. Aaron thought of home. Of rain he might never feel again. Of orders he had already broken. Then he thought of the whale, waiting in darkness for centuries, hoping someone would listen. "I don't know how this ends," he said. "Neither do I," the whale replied. "But you are not alone anymore." Aaron reached for the controls and sent a short, encrypted log toward human space. Not a call for rescue. Just a record. Proof that someone had listened. Outside, the alien whale shifted gently, guiding the human ship toward the heart of the forgotten system. For the first time in centuries, the great creature was no longer waiting in silence. And for the first time in his life, the human understood that listening could be the bravest act of all. Aaron worked without rest. Every moment counted. Every drop of water mattered. The alien whale waited patiently, enormous body barely moving, yet thrumming with quiet energy. Its glow had grown faintly brighter since the first capsule, but it was still weak, still dying. He opened every valve he could, measured every tank and calculated the slow release of life-giving water into the whale's chambers. The ship's systems protested constantly. Alarms flashed. Warning lights pulsed. Water meant survival, but survival meant leaving the whale to die. He ignored them all. When the first stream touched the whale, the change was subtle. The skin shimmered along pale lines, veins of light pulsing slowly like a heartbeat returning. The creature moved slightly, enormous fins turning with careful grace, guiding the water deeper inside. Aaron felt the hum of energy through the ship, as if the whale itself was beginning to wake after centuries of sleep. The whale spoke softly, almost to itself. Life, again. Aaron watched, holding his breath. The void outside seemed alive now, no longer empty. Dust from long-dead stations began to shift, forming currents in the light of distant stars. Even the frozen remnants of old planets responded, small cracks spreading through ice and stone, subtle but undeniable. "Can you feel it?" the whale asked. Its voice was deep, reverberating through Aaron's mind. "Yes," Aaron said. "I feel something changing." The whale shared fragments of memories, images that passed without words. Great oceans spilling across planets, colors of stars reflected in the water, life flourishing wherever the whale had passed. Aaron saw creatures he could not name, civilizations that thrived under the watchful care of the whale's kind. But now, the whale's voice faltered. All gone. Everything that mattered, gone. Aaron's hands tightened on the controls. "We can't bring it back all at once," he said. "But maybe we can start." The whale's glow pulsed faster, stronger. Its massive eye fixed on him, calm yet full of longing. "You are different," it said. "Others came with tools, with weapons, with fear. You came with hands empty but willing." Aaron's chest ached. "I don't even know your kind," he admitted. "I only know what it feels like to hear someone calling for help." "You hear?" the whale said. "And that is enough to start." Another capsule of water drifted into the whale, this one larger, reinforced with recycled reserves from his ship. The glow along its skin spread wider, warmth and life radiating into space. Energy sensors on the ship went haywire, but Aaron ignored the warnings. Something ancient, something alive, was responding to the water, to his actions. "Why are you helping me?" the whale asked. So many could have turned away. Aaron shrugged, though no one could see. "Because no one should be left alone, not like this. Not for centuries." The whale's voice softened, almost tender. "You are not like the others. Humans, perhaps there is hope." Outside, space began to shift subtly. Ice from shattered moons cracked and drifted, streams of frozen vapor turning into tiny trails of liquid, tiny rivers moving across broken worlds. Aaron stared, heart pounding. He realized that even small acts of care could ripple through the void, slowly, steadily, changing the system itself. "Careful," the whale said. "Too much too fast, you cannot give all you have." "I know," Aaron said. "I have to pace it. Just enough to survive, just enough to let you live." They worked together, human and whale, against the cold emptiness. Aaron prepared capsules, released water, measured flow, and guided the whale's movements. The creature learned to position itself better, to accept more water at once without strain. Slowly, a rhythm emerged, like dance in the void. The whale shared more of its memories. Worlds it had watered. Cities it had watched bloom. Stars it had sung to with its voice, deep enough to move matter. Aaron felt awe pressing into him. He was a small human, fragile, but here he was, touching something larger than imagination, older than memory. "Do you see?" the whale asked. "Even the smallest flow can bring life." Aaron nodded. "I see it." Time lost meaning. Minutes blended into hours, hours into cycles. The human's hands were raw from operating valves. His lips were cracked and thirst pressed at him like gravity. Yet he did not stop. Each drop, each careful measurement, brought faint glow and warmth to the whale's massive body. The whale moved more freely now. Its great fins pushed gently against drifting debris, creating slow currents that helped guide water to other broken stations. Its voice vibrated through the ship again. "You restore more than me. You restore this place." Aaron paused for a moment, letting the words sink in. "Then we'll keep going," he said. "As long as we can." The whale's glow brightened further, and space itself seemed to shimmer with possibility. Tiny streams of water arced across empty space, touching old machinery, frozen terrain, and long-dead energy sources. Life, or at least the echo of life, stirred. The human realized something new. The whale was teaching him patience, teaching him how to give carefully, how to hope even in the void. And in return, Aaron's courage, his willingness to stay, gave the whale a gift centuries of solitude had denied: companionship. "Thank you," the whale said softly, "for seeing me." Aaron smiled, exhausted but determined. "I won't stop," he said. "Not until you're whole." And for the first time in hundreds of years, the alien whale moved freely in space, guided by trust and care, feeling the warmth of water, the presence of a human, and the slow return of life in a place that had been nothing but death. Aaron had never felt such weight pressing on him. The alien whale floated beside his ship, now stronger, skin glowing warmly but still fragile. The water he had given was not enough to fully restore it. He knew that if he left, the whale would slowly fade again. He checked the ancient system's data again. Hidden deep within the broken stations was a mechanism, an old network that could restore water across the entire system. It was still functional, just barely. But the system could not be activated remotely. It needed a mind, a living being, to guide the process from inside. Aaron swallowed hard. That meant entering one of the long-abandoned stations, some of the oldest structures in the galaxy. Radiation readings were high. Energy surges could fry him in seconds. The path was dangerous, and no one could rescue him if something went wrong. The whale sensed his fear. "It is yours to choose," it said. Its massive eye looked at him, patient and understanding. "To step forward, or leave." Aaron shook his head. "I can't just leave you." His voice was firm even as doubt pressed in. "Not after centuries of waiting. Not after all we've done together." "You will risk your life," the whale said. "No human has ever done this." "I know," Aaron replied. "But no one else is here. If I don't, nothing will change. You'll die. And this system, all of it, will remain broken." The whale's glow pulsed faintly. "Your kind is different. You understand sacrifice." Aaron took a deep breath. He could hear the faint hum of energy through the ship as the ancient station stirred, responding to the whale's revived strength. Streams of water and energy moved slowly across space, but the network remained dormant. The choice was clear. If he acted, he might survive. Or he might not. "I'll do it," he said finally. "Tell me how." The whale guided him. "Enter the largest station. Its core is alive but unstable. You must connect yourself to the network, guide the energy, and release the stored water. You must keep balance. One mistake, and it will all fail." Aaron suited up, taking only what he needed. The ship followed him as he floated through the void toward the massive structure. The station was older than any human-made ship. Its walls glimmered with frozen dust and fractured light, a mix of ruin and beauty. Inside, the station was silent except for the faint pulse of energy. Panels flickered as he approached the core. Warnings flashed in alien symbols, unfamiliar but easy to read through instinct, as if the whale's presence helped him understand. He reached the central chamber. A network of conduits stretched across the room like veins. Pools of water, frozen and ancient, clung to the walls. The energy thrummed beneath his hands. The moment he touched the core, a surge ran through him. It was not pain but pressure, as if he had become part of the system itself. The whale's voice echoed in his mind. "Guide it. Balance it. Life depends on your courage." Aaron closed his eyes and let the network flow through him. Streams of water moved along channels that had been dormant for centuries. Ice melted, spreading liquid across the broken machinery. Energy stabilized. He could feel the system waking slowly, but it demanded constant focus. One wrong move and the channels could overload, destroying everything. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time had no meaning inside the station. Aaron guided the energy with steady hands, listening to the pulse, responding with intuition, and following the whale's ancient instructions. Sweat dripped from his brow. His suit was heavy, but he did not stop. He could feel the whale's presence outside, enormous and patient, lending him strength. Finally, a surge of light spread across the station. Water flowed freely now, spreading beyond the station's walls into the void. Tiny streams arced across broken moons and debris. The alien whale's glow became brighter, warm and steady, stronger than Aaron had ever seen. "You did it," the whale said. Its voice shook with relief and joy. "You have restored more than me, you have restored the system." Aaron leaned against the core, exhausted but alive. He had risked everything. The choice to stay, to act, had been his alone. Yet it was not just courage that mattered, it was willingness to care. Outside, space looked different. Tiny rivers of water glimmered across broken debris, life beginning to return to places that had been dead for centuries. The whale floated beside his ship, moving gracefully now, free and strong. It sang, a low, deep hum that resonated through the system, awakening long-forgotten stations and structures. "You have changed things," the whale said. "No being has done this in all memory. Not gods. Not rulers. Only you, human." Aaron smiled faintly. "I didn't do it alone," he said. "You guided me. And I listened. That's all it takes." The whale's massive eye softened. "Human, your kind carries a gift older than stars. You do not see power in conquest. You see power in care. That is why you survive where others fail." Aaron stepped back, finally feeling the weight leave his shoulders. The station hummed gently, water flowing steadily now, energy balanced, life returning. He looked at the whale. It was magnificent, alive and free. "You asked for a bridge," Aaron said. "I became it." "And you did not falter," the whale replied. "That is why this galaxy may remember your kind differently. Not as conquerors, but as caretakers." The human realized then that his choice had consequences far beyond his own survival. One act of courage, one willingness to risk life for another, had restored a system that had been lost for centuries. It was not glory he had earned, only responsibility. "Come," the whale said softly. "Rest with me. You have done enough for now." Aaron floated beside the great creature, watching as water streams glimmered in the void. Stars reflected in the whale's eye, distant and alive, and for the first time he felt part of something greater. He had risked his life, made a choice no human had before, and changed the course of the galaxy, not with weapons, not with conquest, but with care, attention, and courage. And the alien whale, alive and grateful, carried the story of a human's choice across the stars, a legacy that would endure far longer than any human record. The system was alive. Water flowed through broken stations, across shattered moons, and into the void, forming streams that glittered under distant starlight. Energy hummed softly, balanced and steady, as if the system itself were breathing again. Aaron floated beside the alien whale, exhausted but safe, watching the change he had helped create. The whale's glow was steady now, warm and bright. It moved gracefully, massive fins cutting through the drifting debris, no longer weak or trembling. Aaron could feel the life pulsing through it, through the system, and through himself. It was a quiet, steady power that needed no violence to exist. "You restored more than water," the whale said. Its voice reverberated softly in Aaron's mind. "You restored hope. Life itself remembers you." Aaron smiled faintly. "I didn't do it alone. You guided me. You waited. You taught me patience." The whale's eye softened, immense and wise. "And that is why humans are remarkable. You do not seek control, only care. That is why you survive, why you endure." Outside, faint energy pulses spread further. Small ice fragments began to melt into flowing rivers. Long-dead machinery reactivated just enough to maintain balance. Aaron realized this was more than a single system being restored. The whale's influence, coupled with his own choices, had begun a ripple effect. Systems that were thought dead could wake again. Civilizations might thrive where none had survived for centuries. Aaron turned to the whale. "Will others come?" he asked quietly. "Other humans?" The whale's glow pulsed gently. "Perhaps. Your kind has been noticed. Not for conquest, not for power, but for compassion. That is something new, something we have not seen in the galaxy before." Aaron felt pride, but it was mixed with humility. He was only one human. One human who had chosen to listen, to act, and to risk life for another being. Yet that choice, small in his own eyes, had changed more than he could have imagined. "We should move on," the whale said. "There are others who need help. Systems that have been silent for centuries. You have learned the rhythm now. Together we can guide them." Aaron nodded, heart lightening. For the first time he felt truly part of the universe, not as a visitor or explorer, but as a participant in something larger. The whale had given him more than life, it had given him purpose. The human and the whale drifted through the system, observing the streams of water and energy. Small meteors caught in the flows began to show signs of change. Ice melting, gases forming, subtle warmth spreading across dead surfaces. Life was not returning instantly, but the first steps were being taken. "You see," the whale said, "even the smallest acts of care echo across the stars. One drop of water can awaken centuries of silence." Aaron reached out, touching a control panel lightly. Then we keep giving little by little. The whale shifted closer. Its immense body made the ship feel tiny, but there was no fear. Only trust. You have learned well. You are not just a human. You are a bridge. A guardian. A legacy. Aaron laughed softly, exhausted but happy. Legacy. I never thought of it that way. I just wanted to help. Helping is enough, the whale said. Yet it is also everything. Far beyond them, sensors across the galaxy began to stir. Alien civilizations that had monitored the region noticed sudden energy flows. No one could explain it immediately. Systems once considered dead were awakening. Streams of water and power moved across empty sectors, guided by a human hand and a whale that had survived centuries. The story spread slowly. First in whispers, then in reports. A human had listened. A human had risked life to help an ancient being thought lost. A human had restored balance where none believed it possible. The whale sang then, a deep, low song that vibrated across the system. Aaron could feel it through the ship, through the water streams, through himself. It was gratitude and joy and history combined. The song told of survival, of care, of choices that changed worlds. Aaron closed his eyes and let the song flow through him. He thought of Earth, of rain, of oceans he had seen as a child. He thought of the countless stars around him, and of the quiet emptiness he had once feared. Now the void was full of life, potential, and hope. You have done more than I ever imagined, the whale said. You have given the galaxy a reason to believe in mercy. Aaron smiled. Then we keep going. We help wherever we can. Yes, the whale agreed. And humanity will be remembered not for weapons, not for war, but for what you choose to give when no one else will. The system shimmered. Streams of water flowed freely, ancient machinery hummed softly, and the whale moved like a living river, guiding and watching. Aaron drifted beside it, part of the movement, part of the rhythm, part of a legacy that had begun with a single choice to listen. And in that moment, Aaron understood something simple but powerful. Compassion was stronger than fear. Care was stronger than isolation. One human's choice could echo across centuries, across systems, across the galaxy itself. The alien whale nudged him gently. Rest now, human. The galaxy will remember. Aaron looked out at the stars, at the flowing streams of life, at the glowing whale beside him. He felt small, but he felt alive. And for the first time in his life he felt that being alive meant more than survival. It meant leaving the world and the galaxy better than he had found it. The void, once empty and silent, was alive with hope. And the story of a human who listened, and a whale who survived centuries, would travel through the stars for generations to come. Aaron smiled. Compassion had become legacy. And that legacy would never end.